I'm Erin Holland.
And I'm Darren Palmer, and this is Home of the Century.
Home of the Century is the podcast that makes property feel possible.
Every episode is honest, practical, and filmed in the kind of homes that make you stop and think, hey, I could do that.
Because you can.
Home of the Century, proudly brought to you by Century 21.
Australia and New Zealand's most trusted name in real estate. Imagine buying a place an hour from Sydney and turning it into a corner of Italy. 30 years ago, Peter and Jenny saw something in a property nobody else did. What they built and the business they've grown along with it is honestly hard to believe until you see it.
Welcome to Home of the Century. Buonasera, Jenny and Peter. Thank you so much for having us. I genuinely feel like we have been transported straight to Italy. And this is the closest I've ever come to Italy, but I'm actually really satisfied right now because this is gorgeous. We're at Guestlands, and to think that we're in Arcadia, just a mere, hour away from Sydney, like Sydney CBD, my mind is blown. This is just incredible. How do you feel?
Like I'm in Italy.
We've done a good job then.
You've done a great
an amazing job.
I've just spent quite a lot of time in Sicily over the last 9 months. And I'm just looking at all the details and every material, all the patterns, all the details, the shutters, even the way things catch the light. It's so authentic. It's well done.
Yeah,
it's amazing. And you feel so good here. How long have you been here?
We've been here when we first bought the property about 30 years ago. There was nothing here like this. It was an old 1970s flat clip block, typical sort of
blonde brick
with mission brown windows and stuff.
Yeah.
It was our home for 20 years, but we started the gardens. So we were passionate gardeners from our first property in West Pymble, and we'd landscaped that to the nth degree. So coming out here, it was an old wholesale rose nursery, and so we set about after designing it for over a year or two.
Yeah.
All the garden rooms and stuff. I had to draw lots of pictures for Jen, because she wasn't quite as visionary, couldn't see stuff off a plan. And
I struggle with that too.
Yes.
I think that's
he
so
had to
hard
draw a picture.
Yeah.
It's so hard to get perspective. I think
Yeah.
it's something that I personally really struggle with, so I completely relate to that. But Jenny,
this side of the house had mature plants, or some, and then, of course, where the nursery was, that was nothing. And so it made sense to obviously start the garden over there, because otherwise everything's just going to get too mature here and it's going to be an us and them. And so, yeah, it was actually really good doing it the way we did, because gardens take years to establish and to evolve and mature, and your hedges and everything, whereas a house you can build, a year or two in.
Sure, but you shouldn't be able to build something that looks like it's got this much heritage in it in like a short amount of time, but you did it.
But we didn't know we were going to do this back then. Had no idea we were going to build an Italian
can we go back
village.
to them? Because am I right in saying that you saw this property, this piece of land in a magazine?
Yes.
Like, we talk about divine intervention and right place, right time, and property purchases just feeling right. But talk to us about
in
that.
the Sydney Weekly.
Love that.
Yeah, we're living in our little quarter-acre block in West Pymble.
West Pymble, yeah.
And Jim's a hairdresser. She was at the salon. I was doing the housekeeping on a Saturday morning.
Good man.
And opened up the magazine, and I couldn't even see the house. All I could see was trees, the lake, and I said, I've rung up, it's in our price bracket, let's go and have a look. And Jen said, I don't care, there's not even a shack on it. We'll just pitch a tent.
I just
and we'll
loved
live
it.
on it.
Oh.
So the only picture in the magazine was the dam. It was actually taken from the other side of the property, looking back this way. And there was the mum and dad duck and the 3 little ducks. And then there was lawn and some conifers and trees. That's all you could see.
How much land are we on here?
5 acres. Oof. Or 2.5 hectares.
Saying Sydney and acres in the same sentence also doesn't feel correct.
No. And you bought a lake. Like, not everybody gets to buy a lake.
Yeah. I know. It's my water supply
what?
for the garden. Like, we didn't realise how important the dam or the lake, the lago,
Well, that used
was
to
going
service
to
the
be.
nursery, of course. And then when we took over, we shaped it up a little bit, planted it out to make it a bit more like an ornamental lake. So, but otherwise, it irrigates all our gardens and does everything.
This is Home of the Century.
Brought to you by Century 21.
Australia and New Zealand's most trusted name in real estate.
And so you thought, we'll buy this perfect piece of land with the not necessarily perfect house on it and plant a garden here so that it can establish itself over time with a view that you would do what?
Fixed the house up one day. We loved Tuscan and Mediterranean-style gardens, so I thought maybe we'll do a Mediterranean-style house.
But we never thought that we would be opening our gardens to people wanting to come and do proposals and wedding photography or accommodation. Like, that's just nuts. Yeah, I would never have believed
lots
you.
of amore through the property. The build, we did own a builder, but a lot of friends and family. We did own a builder.
You had to.
Yeah, so I designed it all, drew it all up, sat down with a guy who had never been to Italy and drew it all out.
He's hyperventilating.
Sorry. So you got the white card and the owner builder course and the whole thing, and then you just did this yourself.
Absolutely. So we had some good trades, and I still had my day job.
Yeah.
Owned a company with lighting and stuff, and I'd spend an hour or two with the boys and said, right, this is what we're going to do here. So it was pretty well a design and construct.
Yeah.
And I'd go off to work, come back, so there wasn't too many shit moments when we came back and saying, oh, what happened here? Well, that's going to cost you if you want a variation. So everything was done. Because technically it was alteration and additions.
That's obvious.
That's how the DA went through. Alteration and additions. Pretty big alterations, but there's quirky bits. And it forced us to make decisions and said, this doesn't quite line up. What do you want to do here, Pete? And so I'd turn it into an architectural feature. So, the little niches in the walls and things like that is actually construction issues behind the skin.
So this is what happens in Italy as well.
Defects that turned into intricate designs that looked like they were always meant to be there.
That's exactly what happens.
Absolute genius.
That's exactly what happens authentically over there. They're like, you know what? That's a problem. We'll just patch over that bit and then, dress it up.
That's where rendering came from.
Oh, my gosh.
Patching over something eventually.
And then that's
actually beautiful.
The patina
aesthetic.
and the quirkiness.
And our builders were like, they couldn't believe, they just, how on earth are we ever going to be able to build for anyone else ever again after this? Because we didn't want everything to be perfect. Like, they were putting in some doors upstairs and they chipped a tile. And I said, don't worry about it.
We'll
Stick it back in and we'll put the grout in
So no
and it looks perfect.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm really big on recycle. So as we pull the old house down, all the beautiful Oregon rafters and timbers and bits and pieces and whatever, anything with stuff, the guys were whinging, Pete, you need to get another skip bin. And I said, no, save that. I might want to do something with it. And they go, oh, yeah. And about a month or two, I heard them talking amongst themselves, oh, don't throw that out. Pete might want to do something with that. And they got into it. It was actually because they said, oh, why don't you just get a new door from Bunnings and we'll beat it up and boom. It's not the same. Jen was the door queen. She was finding doors from all over Marketplace and whatever. And some of them had little doggy doors, so they have to patch that up. And he said, mate, we're spending a whole day just getting this door right. I said, I know, but
you got it right.
But it
feels
right. It's got a story. It's got
character already.
It's got a romance to it.
Ahead of your time as well, with being so environmentally friendly and recycling. That's everything that we're trying to do at the moment is repurposed materials.
Absolutely.
But, the moment that you went from beautiful, sprawling 5 acres of gardens where people wanted to come in and explore, you've turned it into literally, I feel like I'm in under the Tuscan sun, like sitting in a beautiful laneway. Where was the inspiration to turn it into Little Italy?
Well, we hadn't been to Italy before we started building the gardens and doing sort of stuff. We always sort of did Asia and America and stuff and got in that sort of little love triangle. And then our brother-in-law said, I want to have my 60th over in Italy, and his younger brother and his partner had a beautiful little villa just outside of Castiglione del Lago. And I said, great, that's where we're going to do the party. Literally when we got off the plane, I said, wow. How long's all this been going on for? I'm in love. I've seen it in pictures, but I can't believe how beautiful Italy is. And we travel through France and stuff as well. And we stayed in tiny little B&Bs and medieval towns and stuff like that. And I remember opening up the balcony doors and Nonna does come out and sweep the streets, and the boys do sit around and play chess and drink grappa and Negronis in the afternoon and stuff. And I said, I want to wake up like that. So I said, let's change the hallway to a little cobblestone street, put the bedrooms off left and right and the media room down the end, and there it is.
So this was a hallway?
You're sitting in the hallway.
Yeah, this was the hallway of the old house. But the hallway was not very wide. It was horrible. So
this is not narrow. This
yeah,
is,
and
No,
so
it's spacious.
Pete's words were, let's make the hallway much wider. In fact, let's take the roof off and we'll turn
And
it
twist
into
it to the
a
right
street.
so it catches the last of the sun. And that's so it was a bit
and
of
that's how it started to become
Yeah.
like separate
little
dwellings.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
But it
sorry.
was never built as a
alterations and
business.
additions.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's
With a
accurate.
twist.
Yeah. Sure.
That's sensational. And obviously, you know, the property that you purchased, you didn't have any character overlay, no issues that prevented you from deconstructing and repurposing the house, because that's what it feels like, isn't it? If we are sitting in the general footprint of where it used to
Absolutely,
be, but
yeah.
you've completely changed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not even a facade to change. Like, we've separated and we've got built, you know, rooms on either side. But where does the innovation come to even know where to start with that? I'm so impressed at your...
It's all up here.
A bit of a dreamer. Yeah.
It's
And
incredible.
I've got a good imagination.
No, I'm
Evidently,
so insane.
yeah.
And you also have the ability to realise your imagination.
He's
which
good at
is-
putting it together.
Yeah, that's something special.
When did you decide to share this with the rest of us mere mortals? Because you had your own slice of paradise, you were enjoying things
Sorry,
as it was.
This was your house.
Yeah.
This is just how you
It still
decided.
is.
We
We
live
still
here.
live here. It's our home. In fact, people think it's a hotel and that it's open to the public, you know, so
No, it's a private.
it's a private
Pete and
gated
Jen in the
residence.
hills, that's who we are. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you are in a B&B now,
But we
and
are
you do
in-
actually invite some of us to come in and experience this for
Yeah.
yourself. When did you make that transition, and what made you want to be so generous to share this with us?
I'd be rude not to, wouldn't
It's
it?
a bit, you beat me to it.
Yeah.
Pete always
Just
says it's a bit
selfish.
too rude
Yes.
to have all of this just for the
two
two of
people.
us.
Yes.
So why
very
not
bougie
share it?
of
We're
you.
both very social.
We charge for it, but it's just we like to share.
Of course.
And I guess if you're coming a little ways out of Sydney, you're going to want to have a beautiful evening under the Tuscan sun and have a few grappa, have a few Negronis, maybe drink a little vino,
Limoncello.
limoncello, and then you can't drive home.
That's it.
So you're going to come and stay with Pete and Jenny.
Absolutely. Well, so the original purpose was let's just make a fun party house
Yeah.
that we can share with friends and
I can see
family.
that.
We're very social people. We have friends all over Australia and parts of the world. So if you're going to come for a dinner party, you might as well stay, right? Never too old for a sleepover. So, and then Jen, about a third of the way through the project, said, hey, this might make a good B&B, because that's what we kind of stayed in, these sort of little environments as we travelled. And I said, oh, we'll give that a shot. And then hit Instagram and boof, it was just
And
crazy.
then the
Wow.
first people that came and stayed here were a group of girls from Byron Bay, and they booked and they stayed for 3 nights, and it
Do a
was
fashion
during
shoot, yeah.
COVID. And they were posting a few things,
Imagine
and
doing
some friends
lockdown
of
here.
theirs in
amazing.
We didn't have too
Bondi
much cabin fever. Yeah.
said, we can't believe how irresponsible you are to be in Italy, which is the epicentre of COVID. And they said, no, we're in Arcadia in New South Wales, just
They
out
didn't
of
believe
Sydney.
them.
Didn't believe them. She said, well, you'll have to come over to Bondi to prove a point that you're here.
Wow.
So they had to drive all the way from here to Bondi Junction,
Have dinner with their
have
friends.
dinner with their friends, and then
That was
come back.
irresponsible.
Yes.
By the way,
Leaving a bubble.
I should have
Absolutely.
stayed in a little bubble.
Oh, I don't think that
So-
suburb was in lockdown. Yeah.
So what we did, we opened up during COVID, and we had anyone who booked during that time, and we went into lockdown, we just had a 100% money back guarantee. And then, but what happened is most people didn't want their money back. They just wanted to come.
Yeah.
So they rebooked. So it was a rebooking thing, and it sort of snowballed, and we got very busy because you couldn't go to Italy. So it was the perfect storm for us to get going, I suppose.
So you never intended that to be the outcome when you
No.
first saw the land. You never thought it would be the outcome when you had your home. You never thought that would be the outcome when you went to Italy.
Yep.
And so you never intended
Just-
for
it was a
this
passion project.
to be anything other
Just a
than
passion
your
project.
house.
Yeah.
And now you've got a business.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
followed your heart all the way through to a thriving
Yeah.
business
Yeah.
where you probably need more than 4 villas to house the
No.
amount of people that want to
No
come.
more.
She's like, I'm
Really?
done.
Well, we want to
Definitely
keep it.
not.
We like
I'd
to keep it
like
intimate.
this
Keep
Yeah.
it boutique.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's by default, not by design, that it ended up what it is today. Yeah.
And for those who potentially have properties that they can foresee, something similar ever eventuating for them, you've managed to turn your personal residence into a thriving commercial business, even though it very much doesn't feel like there's anything commercial about this. It's very authentic. any pros or cons to the process along the way? Any unforeseen challenges, or what's been the biggest learning curve in terms of turning your passion into a
We
business?
had to put gates on.
No gates beforehand. You're going to keep us all out. Pressing our
No,
noses over
Yeah,
so
here.
what was
randoms.
happening is
You
we
get
were getting a
randoms,
lot
yeah.
of random people
Just strolling in
just strolling
Coming in
in.
to take photos.
to your house.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
So
I
we're
hate
still
that.
gonna-
Thinking you
So
were
that
just
was about the only big negative. But
As soon as you
I
said that, that's what goes. That's what
Yes.
I
But I
just
said,
don't
yeah,
like.
but
that.
Privacy.
Yeah, a privacy factor there, but it's not like
It's not like they're coming to steal. They're just coming to sticky bed.
Yeah, it's a snoop.
But at the same time, I could be, heaven forbid, walking around with not much on, or because I know when
There's
I've got my
Jenny in
guests
a-
and when
Jenny
I
in an
don't.
undies, just
because
trying to
my
have a
laundry.
started
If you're
mowing the
lucky.
lawns in the nude just to ward off the buses.
You know what? If the gates didn't put them off,
But it's not just people coming to stay too. I believe films have been shot here,
Yes.
commercials, TV shows. Like this has become.
We had a movie.
So tell us about those opportunities that have come
rom-com.
knocking.
Yeah, so I guess
September.
people can just Google sites and bits and pieces and they ring us up. And so we've hosted quite a few reality shows. We've done a lot of TVCs and stuff like that. We've played a few little extra parts, those cameos in those sort of things is always a bit of fun. So
I think we ended up on the scrap floor,
yeah,
actually.
probably on the cutting floor or something.
it's not. Hey, you know what? The edit is brutal. It doesn't. It's no reflection on you. Sometimes you just end up cut out of the edit.
That's it.
I mean, this is looking pretty picture perfect. There's a fountain behind us, which is absolutely stunning. I believe it's called the Ricardo Fountain.
That's correct,
Tell
yes.
us the story behind that.
As in the beautiful Daniel, and he's as beautiful,
National
big
treasure.
smile in real life and,
Yeah,
and fun, easygoing guy,
definitely.
just as you see him on telly. He did a commercial out here with St. Hugo for Enchanté, it was a lovely little rosé, and they needed a fountain filled up with rosé and a big shoey on it. But they didn't want to take it with them afterwards, so the marketing department said, "Can we interest you that?" I said, "Do I get to keep the shoe?" He said, "No, that's going back to marketing." And anyway, we had it rebuilt. We named it the Ricardo Fountain, so it's a little claim to fame on that one.
That's iconic.
This is iconic. This is absolutely memorable, beautiful, special, surprising.
I think you're surprised at how beautifully authentic this is. Because when you hear of a little Italy in the north of Sydney,
You just don't think it's going to be anything like this.
I'm walking away completely enamoured and I feel like I've been transported. And to be honest, I didn't expect to feel
I wanna come
so
and stay.
strongly. Absolutely,
I
I
want
want
to
to
stay.
come
I
and
want to have
stay.
this experience. I want to experience all the interiors. I want to be part of your guest. So
Yeah.
I want to be here.
We'd also do a wood-fired pizza and gelato night, and especially if we've got 3 or 4 different couples here and they don't know each other, so we just do that little
It
melting
works
pot
really well.
icebreaker.
It's like meet your neighbours.
And the amount of Italians who have never cooked a wood-fired pizza in their life, and here we are, skippy dudes, showing them how to do it.
Oh, I love that.
Dare I ask, are there any bigger dreams? And as it currently stands, what is next for Guestlands?
I've always got dreams, but Jen's my bit of a handbrake there. She said, let's just
No more.
stop and relax and enjoy it for a little while. But
There's just so much going on all the time. If you have something else going, you can't then enjoy what you're already doing.
I think that's the key.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
build something
enough
that
is
you
enough.
can
We've
enjoy.
also
Stop and
become
smell the roses.
grandparents.
Yeah.
We've got 4 grandchildren now.
Imagine
So
coming here for family Christmas or Easter
we
or
had
whatever.
a wonderful
Oh.
Easter hunt with they're not quite even 3, the eldest 2, but what fun that was.
I want to be part of the family.
Grazie,
La familia.
grazie. Yeah. Bellissima. We're moving in. Absolutely moving in.
Very good. Welcome.
When you're seeking a price from a real estate practitioner, getting the highest possible price is not the answer. In fact, the last thing you should discuss is price. What you really need to look for is methods of marketing and exposure on your property, because it's the exposure that will determine what level of pricing you get. Yes, as a seller, you may have a price that you're wanting to achieve, but at the same time, if the marketing and the strategy that's presented by the agent is not going to take you there, then you're not going to get the desired effect. What you really need to do is focus on how the real estate practitioner is going to get your property out to the most number of buyers so that your property can sell for the highest price in the shortest possible time.
Congratulations, though. I mean, the journey from 30 years ago with 5 acres of barely anything in an old house to how it stands today is just
remarkable.
What a testament to the visionary that you both are. It's just stunning.
Thank you so
I want to go
much.
and explore.
This is Home of the Century.
Proudly brought to you by Century 21.